I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene Edwards, and this is my preview for the 2021-22 Stanley Cup playoffs. I got Sammy coming in here shortly. We're going to discuss Oilers. We're going to discuss NHL. We're going to discuss a lot of stuff. So enjoy. Welcome back, Sammy.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, not a problem. It's always good to get your insight on certain things. And it's playoff time, man. What do you think?
I'm stoked.
Oh yeah. I think this is going to be one hell of a playoff year. I think this is going to be a very different playoff year than previous years. Like 32 teams, half of the league basically is in. Yep. Half the league made the playoffs, half the league did not. So it is truly a battle of the best versus best. I really think it's up for grabs for anyone. I don't think there is legitimately a non-contender in this group of 16.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So obviously my channel is based on the Oilers, and I know you're a Canucks fan, and I'm sorry about their demise. I'm going to get your inside opinion on the Oilers. I'm going to run off some stats, ramble off some stats, some pre-series stats, if you will, on where the Oilers stand and where they match up against the Los Angeles Kings. All right, Sammy?
All righty.
Okay, so first and foremost, the Oilers won the season series 3-1. The only loss was at the beginning of the dreaded freaking crazy downfall that they had back in December. But under Woodcroft, they've won every single game. The games were as followed. December the 5th, the Kings won 5-1. December 22nd, it was postponed due to COVID. So they met up on February 15th. This is a Woodcroft team at this point. It was a 5-2 win. They met up on March 30th. It was a 4-3 win for the Oilers in a shootout. And I think that was the game that Connor McDavid got the game misconduct, or was it? No, it was it was the loss that they had back on February or back in December 5th. I was in the hospital at the time when this happened. Right. And then, so March 30th, it was a 4-3 win. And then April 7th, a 3-2 win. So the Oilers have had the better of the Kings. This is a Todd McClellan versus Woodcroft, kind of the, if you will, the master and the apprentice. What do you think? What is your thoughts on this series?
I think it's going to be a close series. I mean, again, like you look at the stats from the games they played, really only two of them weren't really that close, like the 5-1 win for the Canes and then the 5-2 win for the Oilers. But other than that, one was a shootout. The other one was also just a one game, one goal difference. I think it's gonna be a close series. I also think it could go probably either way, for sure. But I think it's gonna be a close series, and I think this is gonna be a fun one to watch. That's for sure.
So you don't think it'll be an easy go for the Oilers?
No, I don't think so.
That's true. I don't think it'll be an easy go for any of these teams.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. So let's match up our specialists in the game here. So for the points, they got Andre Kopitar, 67 points, 19 goals, 48 assists. The Oilers have someone named Connor McDavid, 123 points, 44 goals, and 79 assists. How do you like that matchup?
Well, I mean, Kopitar is a two-way player, is one of the better two-way players in the game. But he's not McDavid level in nearly any stretch of the means. Connor McDavid is just he's the best player in the world. He's on a completely different level even than Kopitar. So the matchup there, captain to captain, you got to give it to Edmonton on that one for sure.
Okay, let's talk about goals. For LA, it's Adrian Kempe, 35 goals, 6 power play goals, 247 shots, versus a guy named Leon Draisaitl, 55 goals, franchise record breaking 24 power play goals, 278 shots.
That's crazy that the 24 power play goals is franchise breaking when you think of Gretzky, Curry, and all those guys that played. That's crazy to me.
Well, it was tied, I think, at 21 between Ryan Smith and Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, again, you got to give it to Edmonton there with the goal scoring ability. No question.
Okay, and now we go into assists. This is, again, it's Anze Kopitar with 48 assists, 16 power play assists, and a -6, whereas Connor McDavid, 79 assists. 79 assists. That's crazy. 34 power play assists, a +28.
It's McDavid again, like it's Edmonton on that one, on that matchup for sure.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So for the injuries, it's everyone on LA that I'm about to announce is day to day. Obviously, Drew Doughty is out and will not be playing in the series, so they don't even have him listed on here, but we know that Drew Doughty is out.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Adler, Philip Deneau, Trevor Moore, and Matt Waugh are all listed day to day. As far as the Edmonton Oilers go, Jesse Puljujarvi, Darnell Nurse, they have listed as out, but there is some news coming out, and I will mention it right away. Well, not news, but speculation, I guess, if you will. Leon Draisaitl is listed as day to day, but that's only because him and McDavid were pulled from the last game just to rest up. So they're listed as day to day, which I don't even know why they have. This is ESPN's website I'm looking at, why they list them day to day. As far as Darnell Nurse goes, there's still no official report that he will be playing. However, they did send Broberg back to the minors, so that's a pretty strong indicator that Darnell Nurse is probably going to play.
Right.
And then what did the Kings do in the last 5? The Kings in the last 5 won 4 out of the last 5, so they're coming in a little bit hot. The Oilers again won 4 out of 5. So yeah, let's go into the head-for-head matchup, and I want your breakdown and your idea of the offensive stats and defensive stats. I'm going to do the offense first. Get your thoughts on what stat you like and what stat you don't like.
Yep.
And then we'll do the defensive stat and go from there. Okay, so first of all, we'll start off with offensive stats. As far as goals go, Edmonton ranked tied for 7th with 3.48 goals per game, an average of 3.4 goals per game, to LA's 2.87, which ranks them 20th in the league. As far as shots on goal goes, LA is ranked 5th in the league at 34.9. Edmonton is ranked at 34, or with 34, ranked 10th in the league. Power play, Edmonton is 3rd in the league with 26, averaging 26%, right on the nose, 26%. Wow. And LA is ranked 27th overall with a 16.1%. Face-off percentage, LA edges out the Oilers on that one, averaging 52.2 of the face-offs, which ranks them in 5th. And then the Oilers are tied for 8th with 51.3. Shooting percentage, Edmonton has 11th overall in the league with a 10.2 to the LA Kings worst in the league, 32nd overall, 8.2. What are your thoughts on those stats?
Well, everything pretty much about favors Edmonton there. Again, other really than the face-off percentage. Both teams shoot a lot. Edmonton hits the back of the net a lot more than LA does in their shooting. Power play percentage, Edmonton's is, like they're one of the best. Their power play is lethal, absolutely lethal. And again, with that shooting percentage, Edmonton being towards the top of the league in their shooting percentage, having a lethal power play, scoring a ton of goals per game. LA not scoring nearly as many goals per game, and they have the league's worst shooting percentage. It's hard to again kind of pick a favorite. Well, it's not hard to pick a favorite, but Edmonton's the favorite clearly in those categories and offensive stats for sure. It'll be hard for LA to coax that offense away from Edmonton in any way.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, their offense, and especially now, for whatever reason, they're just clicking. But you definitely saw, like I watched last night's game without Draisaitl and without McDavid in the lineup. You saw a different team. It honestly, watching the game last night felt like I was watching a preseason game. It was choppy. Like when you don't have Draisaitl forcing the play and McDavid opening up the ice, like it's a different game without those guys, for sure, without a doubt. Yep. Okay, let's get into the defensive stats per game. Excuse me. So LA is tied for 9th in the league with for goals allowed. For goals allowed, LA is tied 9th in the league with a 2.83 to Edmonton's 18th in the league with a 3.06. Shots on goal, LA has shots on goal allowed. LA is second with a stingy 28.6 to Edmonton allowing 32.3, which is 31st in the league. Penalty minutes. LA is tied for 6th in the league, averaging 7.7 minutes per game. The Oilers are 10th in the league, averaging 8.1 minutes per game. And I think a lot of those were bullshit calls, but that's just what I'm saying. That's just my point. Penalty kill percentage. Edmonton is ranked 17th in the league with a 79.4% to LA's 22nd in the lead with 76.7. Your thoughts?
Well, again, LA maybe edges out Edmonton some of the defensive stats just a hair. Mainly with the shots allowed per game and the goals against per game. If LA is going to harm Edmonton in any way, that's where it's going to come from. Is going to be in them, like you said, stingy, them not allowing a lot of shots and them not allowing a lot of goals. LA doesn't score a lot of goals. They also don't allow a lot of goals. And, Edmonton scores a lot of goals, but they allow a few. So that matchup will be interesting. Edmonton's high flying offense and LA's stingy defense. It's going to be interesting to see who can, break who with that.
That's true. And let's be honest too, now that Mike Smith has been playing, he's a factor. He's a huge factor on the way the Oilers have been playing in the last month or two. That brings us to the goaltending. They have Jonathan Quick listed and Mike Smith. So Jonathan Quick's record is 23-13-9 with a 2.59 goals against average and a 910 save percentage with 2 shutouts. Mike Smith is 69-2 with a 2.81 goals against average with a 915 save percentage and 2 shutouts as well. Which goalie do you like out of those two?
It's fairly similar stats for both of them. Jonathan Quick has shown that he's a playoff performer, and he has shown that if you get him in the playoffs, he can be a brick wall in the playoffs. If he puts that mindset forward, like, this is probably this group. Well, not probably. This is that group's kind of last real shot together to win anything.
Well, Dustin
so
Brown's also retiring too. So
exactly, that's what I mean. So Jonathan Quick, he could be the difference maker in this series. If really, again, anything's going to break the Oilers and possibly put LA past the Canes, it's going to be Jonathan Quick, and it's going to be that stingy defense. However, the way Mike Smith has played the last month or so, yeah, he's been a brick wall of his own the last little while here. So it's going to be hard to break that too. So, I think I have to say pretty even. I'd say even on the goaltending right now. I'd call it fair right now.
yeah, and it is two aging goaltenders versus each other. So
Yep.
I think Quick is younger than Smith though, but
By a few years, but not much.
yeah, but by not too much. Also, what I also do when I do my pre-games is I also go to Cover's website, which is a betting website, just to see what the betting community is thinking about this particular series or a matchup that's going to happen on Monday night. I think this would be the matchup. And they have Edmonton Oilers listed at a 73% favorite. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I'd probably say that's fair.
And okay, let's go into some of the hot trends. So the Oilers are 5-0 in their last 5 versus a team with a winning record. The Oilers are 13-3 in their last 16 versus the Western Conference. The Oilers are 21-5 in 21-5 in their last 26 games versus Pacific Division teams. One of the cold trends that they have is the Oilers are 0-6 in their last 6 playoff games as a favorite. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they're performers in the regular season, but they haven't done squat in the playoffs.
And that's what worries me, Sammy. My God, they better be hungry this time, or I'm going to be buying a new TV. Okay, as far as LA trends, LA has one hot trend, which is they are 5-1 in the last 6 overall. They have 3 cold trends as they are 0-5 in the last 5 games as an underdog. They are 0-6 in the last 6 conference quarterfinal games. And they are 0-4 in their last 4 versus a team with a winning record. The 0-6 versus the conference, I don't think they made the playoffs last year. Did they not?
No, they haven't made it the last few years.
That stat there, like some of these stats are a little silly because it was probably a totally different team other than having Dustin Brown and Drew Doughty, but pretty much a totally different team. So that kind of stat I don't really like. But anyway, What are your thoughts on the other stats or other trends? Sorry.
Well, it's hard to again throw the hat to Edmonton, where LA's not running off of too much right now. I mean, they realistically, like in April, they kind of for a while were kind of barely hanging on to their playoff spot. Edmonton was well ahead of them, but Vegas and Vancouver were both very close behind them. Vancouver was only 4 points behind them about a week ago or 2 weeks ago there, and Vegas was only 3 or 4 points behind them as well. They were both nipping at LA's heels there, and Edmonton, nobody was going to touch them, but Vancouver and Vegas were both right there trying to get in there. So LA kind of got in by the skin of their teeth almost, and they just make it in. But Edmonton was far and beyond this last month, just kind of cruising because they were clicking on all cylinders. And I don't know.
Okay, Sam, I'm going to get you to call it. Who's going to win the series and in how many games?
Edmonton in 6.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised you said that because that's exactly what I'm thinking. Edmonton in 6. I think Edmonton will get off the schneid. I think they are. I wonder who they would play next. So if Calgary wins their series and Colorado wins, who would they face out of that? Probably Colorado. No,
Edmonton will play Calgary in the second round.
Well, or whoever, because it'll be another team too, right?
Edmonton would play Calgary because it's a divisional matchup.
Yes, right.
So Colorado will face the winner of Minnesota and St. Louis.
Yes, that's right.
Edmonton. If Edmonton wins, if they do,
Yeah.
they would play the winner of Dallas Calgary.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna boot up here. Let me just go to the Covers website. I'm gonna boot up the actual matchups here, and let's start talking around the league of who we think is gonna be who you like in each of the series. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So let's start out of the Eastern Conference. We got the Bruins versus the Canes.
Carolina.
And how many games do you think?
I think Carolina in 6.
Okay. I'm going to say Carolina in 5 on that one.
Okay.
Tampa Bay and Toronto.
That one's tricky. It's the battle of the blue and white, battle of the same jersey, same jersey club,
same colors. Yeah. Literally.
It's hard to bet against Tampa winning back-to-back cups, and I mean it's Tampa Bay, like they're fantastic, but I don't know. Something's telling me Toronto's going to squeak it out in 7.
So you think 7? I think Toronto in 6. I think Toronto in 6. I think they have purpose this year. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, who's Toronto's coach again? I forgot his name. I was just watching some stuff on
Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah, Sheldon Keefe. He's already starting to put Nylander on the third line. He's already starting to tinker with a good thing. So that might be a problem too, right? So,
well, the thing is, if Toronto doesn't beat Tampa and they lose in the first round again, especially if they lose badly, that team's getting blown up.
Oh, for sure. That's way too much money. Yeah, way too much money. But I wonder if you could say the same about the Oilers too. Right?
I'd say the same thing about Edmonton for sure.
If they get swept, there might be
somebody's out the door.
Yeah. Okay, let's go St. Louis versus the Wild. These are all Monday night matches, by the way.
Okay. I think Minnesota in 7.
Okay. And we already said the Edmonton, LA. You said we both said in 6 for Edmonton.
Yep.
Okay, so on Tuesday, you got the Penguins versus the Rangers.
Rangers in 7.
Rangers in 7. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I somehow think Pittsburgh's going to win this one. And I think they're going to do it in 5 or 6 for some reason. I think Shersteichen is going to flop. I have a funny feeling. I just don't think he's going to be there.
I guess we'll see.
Okay, Capitals and Panthers. I think this is a no-brainer. I'm going to call the sweep on the Panthers on this one.
Sweep on the Panthers. I'm going to say Panthers in 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Preds and Avs.
Avs in 4.
You know what?
Maybe
I'm gonna go Avs in 6, and that's just because they have Roman Josi. They still have some firepower. Like Roman Josi may very well win the Norris this year. I'm gonna go 5 or 6. I'm gonna go towards a 5, but I don't think it'll be a sweep. The next one I think very well could be a sweep because it is a depleted Stars lineup against the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, Calgary. Yeah, I'll go Calgary in 5.
Yeah, I could see that 5, maybe 6. It's just all season long. Sagan has been hurt. Ben's been hurt. The other fellow's been hurt. Like they're all kind of playing hurt. So I don't see the Dallas Stars bringing out too much oomph of it. All right. Who do you think? Last question of the night. Who do you think is going to take it all?
Oh man.
Tough one.
I did my bracket earlier. And I had Calgary and Florida in the final.
Oh wow.
Is what I had as the bracket. And I picked Calgary over Florida.
Oh, wow. Going for the Flames.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of hate comments coming on,
Probably.
coming on my channel
That's-
for that one. You
that's
know that, eh?
Probably
Risky.
it's a ballsy pick, but I don't know.
It's ballsy to say it on my channel too, but like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I will never say Calgary. I will never say Calgary. Never,
No.
ever, ever. I don't care even
Well.
if they are as good. I'm gonna actually, honestly, I'm gonna go with the two favorites. I'm gonna go Colorado, Florida final.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna win this. I don't know who's gonna win this. I'm hoping it's Edmonton versus Florida, but
Of course.
it's just Colorado in the last few games that they played against the Oilers. Like the Oilers went toe to toe with them, but they just have that little bit more, right? Just that. So I'm gonna get haters now on me, but I like how Colorado's built this year. I'm gonna say Colorado in 7.
Okay.
That's gonna be my pick. But my first pick is gonna be Edmonton in 4. Just so the haters out there don't hate me too much for making that comment.
Man, that would be wild if that actually happened. That'd be nuts.
Yeah. No, I in all seriousness, I do like the I do like the Avs. I do like the Panthers, but I also like all 16 teams that are competing in this year's playoffs. This isn't like previous years. Like every one of these teams, with exception to, well, I don't wonder who Washington is. I don't really know. Don't think they're going to be that strong.
No.
But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, Sam, it's always nice to chat with you. You take care, buddy. We will do some more maybe next round if we can get the time and get coordinated.
Hopefully we got a round 2 preview.
Hey,
I said hopefully we have a round 2 preview to do.
Hopefully, yeah. Anyway, Sam, you have a great night, man. To everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't hate us too much for who we predicted who's going to win the Stanley Cup. And we will talk soon. We will, like I said previously, guys, I'm not doing my previews on the night of the game anymore because of the potential of overtime, and I need my rest. But because I am back to work, so I will be doing all my reviews for every game the following day. All right, guys, that's it for me. You have a great night.